Hey, I think we're live on Twitch right now. Hello everyone. This is Chastity of Chastity's Chess Challenge, and I'm here with my friend and student, and today co-host Tamasia. And we had done a previous stream together from the iPad, but it's not the same experience as using a real computer and doing a proper stream. And as you see, Tam, I've been learning the software. I've been learning how to use OBS Studio, setting up the scenes. And what you see here is on the screen, it shows what it's going to look like to our audience. So we see the light chest analysis board there. And at the top, it has my title of my show, Chastity's Chess Challenge. But then I also have the ability to play my theme songs. And so, was there anything you wanted to say before we do play our theme song, or would you like to play the Chastity's Chess Challenge theme song, and then we just get started with our lesson?
I'm just looking forward to this.
Okay, awesome. So I will mute the mic temporarily, and then we're gonna play the music.
Chastity sat down, chessboard in the light, pieces in a row, ready for the night. Every piece unique, knights jump around, bishop slide oblique, soon the pawns surround. Checkmates and castles, battles on the squares. Chastity's got the tactics, winning everywhere. Opponents get nervous, rooks move with speed. Chastity keeps her cool, focused indeed. She'll show you the websites where she likes to play. Watch her stream highlights, and you'll learn the way. Every move calculated, every step so clear. She's the queen of the board, no need to fear. They don't always make the best move, but the point of chess is to have fun. If you keep playing, you will improve. You believe me when the game is done. Whether you a powerful queen or just a slow-moving pawn, soon you'll become a chess machine, playing in your dreams from dusk to dawn. Some people call chess a game, while others say it's a fight. Perhaps it's all the same, the dance of black and white. Chess for people of every kind. It doesn't matter who or what you are. You have all the power in your mind. Learn to checkmate like a star.
Put the microphone back on. Wasn't that an awesome theme song?
I love it.
And the people can't see this because we're not using camera, but we were lip syncing and dancing along to the theme song.
Yeah.
Now I wanted to just mention to you about that theme song. I wrote the lyrics for that.
Right.
And then we have AI singing it. The Suno app can do that. If you have lyrics for a song, if you're a writer and you write lyrics for a song, you can literally give your lyrics to Suno, and you can tell it, oh, I want rock and roll, or I want pop, or I want, I want, opera, whatever. So you can give it a genre. You can put the title of your song, your lyrics, and you can turn in. If you're a creative writer like I am, you can turn it into a song. So that's why.
So neat.
So I used that to make a theme song about me as a chess coach, basically.
Mhm.
And you remember, okay, now let's first of all, remember how when I was doing the iPad, I had to go to work in less than an hour, but I did a quick little lesson with you on my iPad.
Right.
Now, remember when I was starting the stream, you're like, "Oh, do I look okay?" And
Yeah.
okay. But here's the thing: I'm like, no, they're going to be seeing my screen. They're not going to be seeing you.
Right.
But when you said that, it reminded me about something. Okay, so you probably, like I've been telling you how it's mostly men that play chess competitively in tournaments all over the world, and people ask, well, why aren't there more women? And I realized it thanks to you. I realized the true answer.
What's the true answer?
Because they couldn't figure out what to wear. They were too busy getting their hair done. And so they were so concerned with how they looked, they never showed up to the tournament. And that's why all the men are playing, and the women are absent from the tournaments because they're so concerned with how they look. So I think we've solved the mystery of why there aren't more women in chess. But anyway, yeah. So I think we solved the mystery. So you taught me something, Tim. You can teach me some interesting things too. But I will teach you the chess, and this is great.
Okay.
So first of all, we're at the analysis board. So I'm gonna switch to the actual window here, and we're gonna see. First of all, let's review what I was trying to show you in the last stream about the Queen's Gambit. Do you remember anything at all?
It's hard for me to tell you.
Right. Okay.
What I remember.
Right. Okay.
But, I mean, I know that part of it is taking the pawn out. The queen's pawn.
Yes.
2 spaces.
Yes. That is correct.
Yeah.
And then black does the same.
Right.
Because it's a very common thing to happen where both sides do the queen's pawn.
And then the other pawn, the king's pawn.
Not king's pawn, but the bishop's pawn.
Okay,
you mean?
bishop's pawn goes 1 space.
No, actually 2 spaces.
I'm really confused.
No, it's all right if you don't remember. I was just seeing what you remember.
I thought that's what it was.
Yeah, that's okay. Just so you know, you're not graded or anything.
Okay.
I'm just trying to see what you remember so that I know what to review.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was
yeah.
one behind the other one.
Right, yeah. So here's the thing going on here is the Queen's Gambit, and it has some little text on the side here about it, and they actually found it in like an ancient book in another language, supposedly. So the Queen's Gambit is where White is letting Black take a pawn if they want to, and if they take the pawn, it's called Queen's Gambit accepted. And if they take that pawn, well, yeah, White has lost a pawn, but then they can do all kinds of things. Or they may decline it by just putting this pawn behind it, so that if White decides to take that pawn, then Black captures back. So that's the Queen's Gambit declined. And then another option that's popular is the Slav defense, because somebody in Yugoslavia decided they were going to do it.
Okay, so
yeah.
The one that you just did a minute ago.
Yeah,
was the king's pawn. What is that called?
That's called the Queen's Gambit declined.
Oh, the Queen's Gambit declined.
When somebody doesn't want to take that pawn, and then they decline it by just putting their king's pawn there.
Okay.
And that's called the Queen's Gambit declined.
Okay.
And then what I was showing you, the Slav defense is just a different way to decline the gambit.
And that's the bishop.
Yeah, the bishop's pawn 1 space in that case. And basically, let me explain why Black would do this.
Okay.
Depending on which bishop they want to move out, because if they want to move this light squared bishop out somewhere along here, then they're gonna want to do the Slav they're gonna do a Slav defense to defend this pawn, but not blocking this bishop. Whereas if they do this, then this bishop is blocked. Yeah, it can't go past that pawn. But then this bishop can. So basically, if you're facing the Queen's Gambit and you're the Black player, you have to decide which bishop do I want to attack with. So that's largely what will determine what you want to do. And basically, the idea is they will probably do one of those 2 moves because they want to make sure that if White were to take this pawn, they have a way to capture it back. And of course, they can also use the queen too, but it gets them into a little bit of danger too. But since it's Black's turn, there is one 4th move that sometimes they do, and it's called the Albin counter gambit. Yeah, and this one is a little bit tricky because, for example, in this, I'm just going to show you an example trap here. So, what if white thinks, oh, I'll just take this pawn, and then black's like, hey, I'm going to move this pawn forward here. Well, this is where it starts getting weird because if white doesn't know what they're doing, they'll probably do something really strange. Like they'll think, oh well, there's this pawn here. See, the queen can't capture this pawn, or that enemy queen would take it. So some players will do something really stupid. In this case, if they might do this, and then black will start do this, and then black has to block the check from the bishop, so they have to move either the knight or the bishop in the way. And this, I've seen that there's a grandmaster that explained this. This is really wild. So if you look at this, they might try to put the bishop in the way, but this is where it gets really freaky. So they block with the bishop, but then this pawn is here, and it takes this pawn. And see, this bishop can't take the pawn because it would put the king in check with this bishop here. So now this bishop is trapped. And so, but they can take this, but now look at this. So now this pawn takes this and puts the king in check. Then the king takes the pawn, not realizing that black can just kill white's queen. And so sometimes, like that example I just showed, the Albin counter gambit can be a good move for black. It's okay if you don't remember all of this.
Yeah.
But this is just an example that there's the Grandmaster Jiri, he showed in a video how sometimes black can use the Albin counter gambit and just completely destroy white.
See that.
So the thing is, chess is a game of equal opportunity. You have to understand that either side can win with the right moves. And so the Queen's Gambit doesn't always mean that white's always going to win. I wish it did, but black has 4 major responses depending on which pawn they want to move and stuff. But basically it's still anyone's game. But what I will warn you and all students, I will warn them about this, is that accepting the Queen's Gambit by taking this pawn is a really nasty trap. And it's a nasty trap for several reasons. First of all, white can just put the king in check, and then if black blocks with something, white still gets to take this pawn. It's not really a free pawn, it's just a trick. The real trick behind it was just to get black's pawn distracted, so then they can start getting other pieces out. So the Queen's Gambit is just like a really dirty trick by white to gain the advantage, trying to fool black into taking that pawn. And there are some people who are really good master level players. They can accept the Queen's Gambit and they can still go on to win, but you have to be an expert who knows what you're doing. Right. And to tell you the truth, I'm not even that good enough to where if I accept the Queen's Gambit, I at playing black, I will probably lose because I'm not Levi Rosman, I'm not Magnus Carlsen or Hikaru Nakamura. I am not those people. They're people who are some serious masters. So for the average player, accepting the Queen's Gambit is a really bad thing. So that's just a basic review on the Queen's Gambit and some of the ways the game can start with the Queen's Gambit. Okay. But I'm going to be teaching you an entirely new opening today. Oh, okay. And you're going to love this. And see, the best part about doing this as a stream here is that everybody, not just you, can learn. But your feedback is very helpful to me, Tam, because then if you have questions, and that means I need to slow down or back up, and explain something again, right, that's better for you, that's better for me, because I get better each time I explain it, and it's better for the audience who watches the video. I see. So you are, in a way, you're teaching by being the student and asking the questions. Oh, cool. But now there are infinite possible openings, because every player has their style. Mm-hmm. But there are certain ones that have a name. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to flip the board here, and we're going to just go back to the very start of the game here. Mm-hmm. And we're looking at the pieces from black's perspective here.
Oh.
So this is where it gets strange. Let me see if I can delete some of these previous. Okay, there we go. So here's the thing. Now, when you are playing as the black player, remember white gets the first move.
Right.
But I'm going to be teaching you the French defense. The French defense is my favorite opening playing black.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the way it works: is white is probably going to move their king's pawn because most players they like to move their king's pawn. Not everybody is a hipster like me that likes to move the queen's pawn.
Mm-hmm.
And then black, for the French defense, does something really weird. Moves the king's pawn one space. And I know it looks strange, right? You're probably thinking, well, why move the pawn just one space instead of two?
Right.
Well, there's a reason for that, and I'm going to show you. Because when I first saw the French defense, I'm like, what's this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm going to show you why it's so important. Because white will most likely then get their queen's pawn. They can sometimes move a knight or something, but that's not important. The point here is to show you the most common things that happen. And then here's what black does is they move this pawn here. Now here's the reason that we move this pawn one space. The reason we move this pawn one space here is so that when white captures this pawn,
Mm-hmm.
then we can capture back with this pawn.
I see.
So now here's what you see is that both sides can get both their bishops out. See, it's white's turn. So see, the idea is, white wants to get their bishops out here and black wants to get their bishops out here. So the idea, that's called the French defense exchange variation.
Oh, wow.
Because then allows the bishops completely free movement. But not everybody does that. Not everybody takes that pawn. Sometimes people are nasty, okay?
Oh, yeah?
Sometimes the white player is nasty, and they just move this pawn forward one, and this is called the French defense advance variation.
Uh-huh.
Now, this is a very nasty thing that the white player...
They get stuck, don't they?
Well, here's what happens. What this does several things. See, the people like to do the French defense advance variation because what this means is, black can't just move this knight here or the pawn takes it.
Uh-huh.
So it limits black's movement there, and they can't move the bishop here or the pawn takes it. So basically, what this does, you see, is that it basically it limits black's options when they push this pawn up this close.
Yeah.
So here's what black has to do in the advanced variation. I learned this by watching a video of Lovey Rosman explaining this.
Okay.
But I've sort of adapted it and added it to my own style because you have to find your own style. You don't just want to just copy somebody. You want to do something that's uniquely you. And chess is such a big game that no matter who you are, you can find a style of play and the moves you like to start with.
Okay.
And they call it an opening repertoire. Like you start so you can memorize it, or even better, if you have a bad memory, you write it down. You write down the moves you like to do.
Oh.
And then so like if you're playing games with me, for instance, I want you to write down your moves that you like to make to remind yourself, and I will teach you the chess notation.
Yeah, I need to learn that.
Exactly, because then you can look at chess notation in a book and you can even sort of visualize it.
Yeah, once I get to know.
Exactly. And when I first started playing chess, I didn't know chess notation, but it's actually super easy to learn.
That's cool, yeah.
And it shows the chess notation on the right side here. But later on, in future lessons, I'm going to explain chess notation fully for you. But so now, when white does this, here's where it gets nasty here. Is now black has to find a way to break up these pawns. So what black does here, this is what I like to do as black, is I basically am doing a black queen's gambit. You see this? Do you see how now we are offering a pawn to white? And what we're trying to do is we are trying to, just like in the Queen's Gambit, black is trying to trick white into accepting the Queen's Gambit from the black side. And if they fall for it, then look at this. We just take it back right away because the point of moving the king's pawn was, first of all, to defend this, but it was also to allow this bishop to get out here.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, when they accept that little, I call it the Black Queen's Gambit, even though it's called the French defense, it can include this Black Queen's Gambit.
Mm-hmm.
So now White has to figure out what they're going to do. Well, here's
what can they do?
Well,
with that pawn?
Yeah, well, they can't. They can try to defend this pawn, for instance. They might try to defend this pawn here with this knight. They might do that. And then what I, as a black player, like to do is I like to get the queen right here. And you may wonder, well, why there?
Yeah.
Well, look at this. See that square there next to the king? That's the weak square.
Okay.
Oh, only the king guards that square. So this.
Wait. What do you mean by that?
Okay, so think about it. If I were to capture that pawn with this bishop, the only thing that could capture it back is the king, because see, the knight can't move back there, the bishop can't move there, the queen can't move there, and so but because the queen and the bishop are both lined up, if they're both here on that square, this will be really bad news for white if they don't see it. So if you are playing against, you're using the French defense, and you're playing against white, and they don't see what's going on here, then look at this.
Yeah, can you show me?
Yes.
I'm not understanding.
Yeah, so check this out. So white doesn't notice the attack. They don't realize that the bishop and the queen here are both on this diagonal.
Yeah.
Black captures the pawn. The king is in check.
Okay.
It has to move.
Okay.
So where is it going to go to?
No, I have a question.
Yeah?
Okay, so if the king is in check,
Yeah.
can it take that bishop?
Well, normally it could, but the only reason it can't is because this queen is here.
Oh.
And so it would still be in check. So the king has only 2 legal moves.
Okay, I see. But it can take a piece that puts itself in check.
Right. If this queen wasn't here, then it could take it.
Okay.
And that's why in this French defense thing we did a Black Queen's Gambit, and then white took the pawn, and then they moved their knights out thinking they're going to do something. But then I lined up the queen here, and then now we have the king in check here. So where's the king going to go? Well, basically, it doesn't really matter that much. It's still in trouble. But what if the king moves right here? Well, look at this. Well, now
it's still in check.
It's actually checkmate.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
How is it checkmate?
Well, the king can't capture the queen, but the king has nowhere to go because here, and here are all guarded by the queen, as well as the bishop guards this. So this is checkmate. And also notice something very important.
That was pretty quick.
Yeah, so that's a super quick game where black wins in this example. And I've done this a few times. You know?
That's cool.
And notice something. Do you see the little pound sign, the little number sign here in the chess notation? That means checkmate. Whenever you see the tic-tac-toe sign, the number sign, it says queen. Well, it's queen to e3 checkmate. That's what Q stands for, queen, and then that square is called e3, and then it's a checkmate. Now, what happened if white had instead moved the king to here? Well, then I can't checkmate them the same way, obviously, because then we would have the issue. If the queen goes here, then basically white can just take it. So then that would be how white would avoid getting checkmated. But that's still very early in the game. So this is where we start getting nasty with the other pieces here. See, because now we can still get the knight out. And now the king here is blocking the bishop. So this bishop can't do anything to us because it's blocked by the king. And white doesn't really have that many good options. See, because, for example, they could try to move this knight here and attack the queen. But
the queen could move.
Yeah, the queen can. That's the thing, is the queen can move. And
in front of that king.
Well, yeah. See, here's the thing about it is, this was a good move by white because if the queen moves, then the king will be able to kill the bishop. So that's where it gets kind of nasty there. But it's it's absolutely a valid move. So, for example, probably what I would do is I probably would just move the queen to somewhere like well, no, that's not what I would do. Instead, I would want to make sure the king was still in check. So I would probably do that, and then the king's gonna take that, but then the queen gets to just capture the knight there. See, so black is still doing better than white because they've had to move the king, and the time they've wasted by moving the king means
the other pieces.
Exactly. They
and
can't.
The bishops are still sitting there.
Right. So their pieces haven't moved because I've been chasing their king around. So black is already still in a winning position, even though both sides have most of their pieces.
Right.
So, and it's hard to know how this kind of game would go because this is still just me showing you a possible example.
Right.
So it would be better to have a game against the computer or against a real person. But I think what we'll do is now also we need to mention you beat level 1 computer.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So so everybody, Tam, nobody's watching, but they will later because this is going to be on YouTube. I just want you to know Tam beat the level 1 stockfish computer on leechess.org, and I'm so proud of her.
Thank you.
Yeah, because that's a good milestone. And so what I'm thinking is I want to show you the principles, because I've tried to show you the principles of my openings, because I'm big into opening theory.
Yeah.
And I'm going to play the level 2 computer. Okay. And I'll probably still be able to beat it, because level 2 is still... I can beat levels 4 and 5, some of the time. So level 2, I think I'm up for a challenge on level 2 computer. So let's see how my openings work against the computer.
That sounds good.
And also, what's fun about playing against the computer is you don't have to worry about time limits, because you choose. We're gonna set it at level 2, and we have the time control of unlimited. So how about let's have me as the black player.
Okay.
And since I was just showing you the black opening, and let's see what is the... Oh, now look at this.
Yeah.
Now the computer level 2, it decided it's going to move the queen's pawn. It's trying to do what I like to do.
Right.
So let's see what we can do now. Well, let's see if we reach the queen's gambit. So let's move our queen's pawn there. And what did they just do? Like, what kind of move is that?
I don't know.
Like, did you see how they could have done something with C4? They could have done the queen's gambit, but instead they moved this pawn.
Even in level 1, some of the moves are bizarre.
I know, and then level 2 is still pretty stupid. Like, so what is this intended to do? First of all, look, this pawn here blocks the knight from going here, and that's a good spot for the knight. And also exposes a weakness of being able to put the king in check. So that's not a good pawn to move there. And so the level 2 computer already made a mistake on the second move. so if they're gonna start making mistakes like that, then let's excuse me.
You all right?
I'm just coughing.
Okay.
So this is gonna get funny, because what I think I'll start doing is I'll get my bishop out here. I'm gonna get my bishop out here. Okay, now they moved. Okay, that's not bad. It's not really bad. But they're getting this out here. But I don't.
But why?
That's the thing, is the computer has its reasons that I don't understand, but it's a level 2 computer, so it's not making the best of moves.
Yeah.
So now that I moved that bishop out there, so now it's not trapped when I move this pawn here. So I wanted to move that pawn.
Up the other
and now they just moved their king. You see that? Like, why have they moved their king? Like,
that makes no sense.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying I should be able to beat this level 2 computer no trouble, because level 2 is almost as stupid as level 1.
But level 1 when I played wasn't doing this bad.
I know, this is funny when they just start moving the king. Like, that king can't a king can't do anything by itself. It's basically the most useless piece in a way.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, and the fact that it can't put itself in check, so it can't even sacrifice itself like a pawn can.
Yeah.
So now that if black is going to do that, then let's offer the black queen's gambit. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, this is funny. So now they moved that knight there. I'm going to get my queen lined up right there, and then see what are they going to do here. Okay, this is wild. Now let's get my knight involved into the action here.
Yeah.
Cause I'm
getting prepared.
Yeah, see, I'm getting my pieces active here. I'm trying to get all my pieces into the game. So now, see what they just did there, though, is they are attacking my bishop, and I don't want to lose that bishop, so I'm gonna just bring it back there.
Right.
And now they move their knight back there.
Mhm.
Okay, this just got interesting. So, ooh, hey, look, I can castle. I
haven't figured out how to do
Oh,
that yet.
it's very easy. So if the king hasn't moved in the game and a particular rook hasn't moved, you click on the king and see how it shows that we can move the king 2 spaces here. So if I do that, I'll be able to just castle. So that's what I'll do there. You know, it's oh, now they're trying to attack my rook there, but that's not a problem because we're just going to block that with the pawn and attack the bishop back. See, the computer is not organized. It's doing some really some really crappy play. It's just not
random and bizarre.
yeah, it's not doing smart stuff. It's just not. Okay, now look at this. You see how the computer put their king here. So look at this. If we try to attack this pawn here, that pawn can't capture our pawn because it would put the king in check. So instead, they do something bizarre like that.
Right.
Okay, now that's hilarious. So now, I'm gonna do something really dumb. I'm gonna capture this knight with my bishop.
What about the queen?
Well, okay, hey, now, yeah, you see that the queen could have just taken my bishop, but the level 2 computer is stupid. So I'm gonna win this game with no trouble, like seriously. So now they just did that, and that's just weird because now.
How does this count as a real game? Like.
Well, it's a real game. We're just playing against a stupid computer. But the idea of these computers that are low level is meant to allow beginner players to be able to still win.
Okay.
So computers.
Well, I appreciate it too, but
yes.
But I mean, it just feels like even when I beat level 1, it really helped me in the end because my most trouble is capturing the king in the end.
Yes.
But so that really it's very helpful. But at the same time. When it's making moves that don't make sense, that's not what people need to learn either.
I'm glad you brought that up, Tam, because here's the thing: playing against a computer is not the same as playing against humans, because humans usually have better reasons for why they do what they do.
Is it just like a computer thing versus a human thing?
Right. See, here's the thing is, I think it's good to get started with computers because it allows you, without the involvement of another person, just to get some practice in. But when you're playing with real people, and you're going to be playing a lot of games with me too, when you play with real people, you're going to start understanding their psychology. But computers can be an enigma because the computer isn't the same as a human, so you can't figure out its psychology because it has none.
Okay, so it is just different in general.
Yeah.
No matter what level you're on?
Yeah, basically.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so, but the reason I like to start with computers is because it really gives new players a chance where they can win.
It's like a platform to really be able to.
I like to use computers as a teaching tool to get people started. And after they've beaten the lower level computer players, then it's like, well, you know what? Maybe you can hold your own against some humans too.
Right, because it does give you some practice and some, because the fact that I did win against level 1, it did give me some ground to stand on in my own mind.
Exactly.
That, wow, this is how I did this.
Yeah.
So, maybe I can repeat it again,
Yeah, that's exactly the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just truly wild. And see, now this is where it gets funny because see now we can take this pawn there and okay, that's hilarious because see the bishop didn't even capture the pawn, and this queen didn't capture this bishop. So I don't know what the computer thinks it's doing, but this is extremely funny to me.
Yeah.
Like this is hilarious, and now if you see this, this is weird. like, okay, for example, I can advance this pawn and it puts the king in check because my queen's there.
Wait, what?
Yeah, this is called a discovered check. So let's back up. See, this queen was in line with the king, but this pawn was in the way.
Oh, okay. What's that called?
That's called a discovered check. So as soon as okay, I need to I need to take back the move so we can just see. So it was here, and then when this pawn moves here, then it puts the king in check, and then the king has to move. Yeah, so that's one of those deadly tricks where you have a piece in the way, and then as soon as it's moved, it creates a check.
Okay, I need to learn that more because I think that's something that I totally have not.
Well, it's a little bit hard for people to see.
Yeah, it's hard to. Yeah, I can see that. It's harder to notice that.
Yeah, but remember, if it's hard for you to see, it's also hard for your opponent to see. That's the thing, is if it's tricky for you, it's tricky for your opponent too, because it's hard for human eyes to see all these bizarre things.
Right.
And so now, like, black, has like such an advantage here. This is hilarious. And now we can start getting more pieces involved. But I think what I want to do here is I want to get my king moved here because I don't want it in line with. Wait a minute. Except I also, well, I'm not sure. Actually, I'm still deciding what's a good move here.
Yeah, I think it's throwing you off.
Well, yeah, they are making some really dumb moves, but that's part of what makes it so funny at the same time.
And interesting.
Yeah, it's really cool. But yeah, like, we can capture this pawn here, and their pawn will probably. Wait, they did not even capture the pawn. This bishop could have just captured his pawn, but instead they moved this knight here.
Did you have a piece where the knight was?
The what?
Did you have a piece where the knight was?
Or
is?
The
white knight. Did you have a piece where the white knight just moved?
No.
Okay.
No, there was nothing there.
Okay.
But I don't know why the computer even did that.
Yeah.
Like, that's funny. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna capture that. And see, I get a queen.
Oh, wow.
Okay, that's weird. They could have captured it with the rook, but they didn't. See, the level 2 computer is being really dumb.
Yeah.
So this is funny. So now we're just gonna put the king in check, like that. We're just gonna put it in check again, and then where is it gonna go? Okay, then let's put it in check with this bishop right here. Wow. This is funny. And now let's move this queen here. Check.
Oh my goodness.
So now we have 2 queens.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and now it's checkmate.
Yeah.
So I beat the level 2 computer. But it's still not the same as a real human.
Right. Like, it's different. Yeah.
And so we're gonna correct that. Before we end the stream, I want to play a game against a real human. But I need to use the restroom first.
Okay.
So I'll be back in a jiffy here.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna show you what it's like when you actually play live chess against another human.
Okay.
It's super exciting.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. I hear you, but I'm Hey Tam, my mom needs my help. She's getting ready to go to bed. So just wait. Don't go anywhere.
Do you need to pause the stream?
No, our audience, which is not watching, will just have to wait anyway.
Okay.
So yeah, so just don't go anywhere.
Okay, I won't. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, it's not. I was still showing your stuff, but yeah, you weren't telling what I was showing you. Okay. Yeah, no, I just come back. I just come back and was looking for. Okay. Uh, Okay, sorry about that. My mom was yelling for me.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, and she was saying that it's time for you to take your pills and go to bed, but I told her I'm not done showing you this.
Yeah, this is neat. Is this
Oh,
the
oh,
game?
this is shogi. What you're seeing there, that's my shogi set.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, I will be teaching you Japanese chess as well.
Cool. Oh, I'm
It
sorry, I can't get that box.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy. It's easier on the computer though because there's some really nice presets on the shogi and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I wanted to show you. So
I did want to play. I was gonna ask you if we could play a game on there later.
well, yeah, I would love to because mom is saying you need to get to bed and take your pills and all that too.
Yeah.
But I want to show you a blitz game
What's a blitz game?
A blitz game is where each person has 5 minutes on the clock, so the game is guaranteed to be 10 minutes or less.
Oh.
And normally I would do a rapid or a classical thing, but
Mhm.
since my mom is pestering that we need to get you to bed soon,
Yeah.
then what I want to do is I want to see if I can play a blitz game here.
Okay.
And so let's see, we're gonna go to quick pairing, and we're just gonna have a 5+0, so a blitz game, and let's see if I.
Those things meant all those things.
Yeah, so this is where you play live chess with time controls with real people.
Oh.
So
Okay.
what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to play a game. I may explain a few things, but I'm also going to be hyper focused.
Okay.
So let's see whether I get the white or black pieces. Let's see what happens here.
It'll just surprise you.
Yeah, because this is a real person. Oh, there they did that. So now we're into the French defense.
That's a real person?
Yeah, it's a real person, and their username is Callie Bex. So now I'm playing, and you see the time limits here. Each person has their own time clock, and the clock is ticking while they are making their move.
Oh.
So this is freaky. Oh, so now they're doing something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's wild. So now we're doing a Black Queen's Gambit here, and
Oh, that's so cool.
yeah, see, they're making their moves. Whoever they are, they're making their moves there.
Wow.
And it's actually quite exciting here. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to block with the knight, which is a little bit different, but I'm just going to see how it works out.
Yeah.
Oh, see what they did there? Now, see, now they use that knight, and I don't like what they did there, but I'm just gonna pin their knight there so it can't move because it would put them in check. Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. This is really weird. So now we're going to put this bishop here, and let's see what they do. Oh, this is wild.
They're thinking.
Okay. So now they did that. So now let's capture there with the pawn, and now the bishop. What's the bishop gonna do?
Nothing.
Oh, you see what they did there? Yeah. Okay, that's dangerous. So now we have to do this, but then they're gonna put me in check there. Yeah, so this is really bad for me. But see, this is what happens when I play lower time controls because I'm in a hurry. Yeah. And I didn't want to do this, but my mom wants to get to bed. She wants you to get to bed, so it's basically ruining my chess life. Basically, that's the truth of it here. But hey, stop being sorry. You didn't do anything wrong here. Okay. This is truly wild. But we'll see if I can still win this game. Yeah. Maybe, but so far it's not looking too good here. Yeah, let's see here what we can do. Because I can't just capture that bishop or I'd lose my queen. Because then the rook would kill my queen. So have to be super careful how I go about this.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't do well on lower time controls. If it were up to me, we'd be doing a classical game for a better example. Oh, now you see what they did? Now they got my queen pinned against my king, so I lose my queen no matter what I do.
Oh no.
Yeah, so it's not the best example of play, but it does show you that I can play against a real human. And in this particular case, they're winning because I'm trying to play a blitz game where there's only 5 minutes on the clock.
And you're a little stressed out.
Yeah, and I get stressed out on lower time controls, so it's not a good thing for me. I like to have lots of time because if I have more time, then I make better decisions. That's just an obvious fact.
Right. I understand.
So they're gonna beat me in this game most likely.
Yeah.
But I can still go down fighting.
Right.
I can still I can still see how long I can survive.
Right.
And that's part of the fun of it.
What about the knight and the rook that you got?
Right, well, they're not getting a chance to move because they keep putting me in check.
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so you get to see this game that I'm playing against this person, and now they just killed my rook. See?
Oh man. Oh.
Yeah. See, my king just has to keep moving. It keeps being put in check, and so it doesn't have a chance to really go anywhere. So they're probably going to checkmate me pretty soon.
Yeah.
See, my king has nowhere good to go.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Oh man. He's gonna corner you.
Yep. Now they checkmated me.
Oh.
Well, yeah. Well, here's the thing. I got to teach you some cool stuff.
Yeah.
And I really want to have better examples where I show you longer games where I take the time to really think through it. Because Blitz game is just not, it's not a good way to learn.
Yeah, but I needed to see that though, because now I know that that's an option.
Yeah, but what you want to do is you want to do it when you have adequate time and you're not distracted. Although sometimes listening to music actually helps because it gets you in an uplifting mood. Sometimes listening to music can actually help you, but when somebody else, right? Yeah. But when somebody else is trying to talk to you while you're playing chess, that's the worst thing.
Oh. Was I talking to you?
No, well, it's different. You're my student, so you're doing the show with me. But see, here's the thing about it is, first of all, you know, first of all, it's not fair, Tam, because here's the thing is I'm gone at Walmart working all night, and then I have to sleep for the day. But then by the time I get up, it's time for you to go to bed. It's time for my mom to go to bed, and I'm just trying to teach you a chess lesson, and then my mom's like, well, you know, and I'm like, well, I'm not done yet, and it's just frustrating, you know. So it is what it is, but you didn't do anything wrong. Okay. Neither did my mom.
Well, can we play more chess tomorrow?
Yeah, we should play more chess tomorrow. But I want to. Yeah, but do you see what I'm trying to do with the show?
Yes.
That's the whole thing about it.
And I'm very grateful too.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah. Because I get to show the whole world the chessboard and the moves, and we can even have little theme songs and stuff here and there. So thank you for joining me for this, even though
you're a good teacher, I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that's the thing about it, and we'll probably have more fun episodes, but we'll also play some over the board chess on my real chessboard too.
That would be great.
We can do some of that tomorrow too, I hope.
To really bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I really appreciate you showing me. I mean, because it's like I'm learning a lot of stuff just from watching you do what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, I really am learning, and
it's
I mean, I've played chess off and on for years, but I've never learned like anything like what you're teaching me. You know? I didn't have anybody to teach me.
Well, see, so here's the thing you have to understand, Tam, is that there's chess coaches available, but the thing is, then you have to pay them. And you have to pay them money, and most people first of all, a lot of people can't afford or anything, and some of them are expensive. But here's what I want to do: people aren't going to learn chess if somebody doesn't teach them.
Right.
And so I can be a teacher to people who are new to the game or who or maybe know how to play but they don't know very much about it. Right. And I can be someone like, hey, I will teach you for free. And then you're gonna see what you learn. Right. And the goal is to get you good enough where you can eventually beat me. Oh, and you're gonna love it so much that you're gonna voluntarily want to pay me something,
right?
Because
you're gonna thinking that
exactly because you're gonna want to you're gonna appreciate it,
right? And I was thinking that just that what you were saying.
Exactly, that's what I want to do because guess what? Nobody else is doing that.
Wow.
There's people who are really good teachers of chess, and Levi Rossman's probably the best one on the internet. But you have access to me, someone who's
I'm very grateful.
Yeah, you have someone like me who's just a complete chess nerd and tries to study all the time.
I'm fascinated by that book over there.
Yes, the book. It's Batsford's Modern Chess Opening.
Yeah, I can't believe that book. That's amazing.
Yes, as seen in Netflix's The Queen's Gambit.
I didn't have Netflix.
I don't have Netflix either, but I want to see it too. But see, here's the thing now. here's the thing. This book is full. It doesn't have as many pictures as I'd like, but it's full of this chess notation. And I kind of know what it means, but you would have to follow along,
Like you have to do it on the board.
either on a real board or by following examples on the computer by moving according to the chess notation.
Right.
And so, but this covers everything. Like,
it's amazing.
The Caro-Kann defense. It's got the French. Here's the French defense classical variation. This book is the size of a phone book or a Bible. Like,
I know, it's huge.
Because this is like I think it's like the 15th edition.
Wow.
This book is over 100 years old. Like, not this.
Are you serious?
Yeah, this, like, it's had many editions. Like,
oh my goodness.
See,
and that's just chess openings.
Yeah, that just shows, yes, a lot of different chess openings, and the opening is just how you get started. It's your preferred style of how you get started in the game.
Wow.
But I'll tell you something, my end game this week, and because my opponents resign before I have a chance to checkmate them, which kind of annoys me because I never learned to get better at checkmating.
See, and that's my problem. I can play the game for a while with people, but I can never learn how to checkmate.
Right.
And I finally did yesterday. Checkmate on level 1, which was cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was level 1, but
right.
it was still cool that I did it.
One thing about the computers is they don't resign. See, humans just resign; they just give up. But the computer keeps playing till the end, so you get a chance to actually checkmate.
That's cool.
And when I play games with you, we're gonna play until the checkmate. We're just gonna finish it.
Right.
You know, because that's the way it's meant to end. I agree. That's what I've already been saying on the channel. I've already been saying that's the way the game is supposed to end. It's not like, oh, I lost my queen, I give it up now. No, you can still win, even if you lost your queen. Your opponent could also make a mistake. You could take their queen, so you don't know what's gonna happen. So I try to tell people, don't give up.
Right.
People give up on a current game and they just resign, and they give up playing chess. They think they lose a few games. They're like, oh, I'm not very good. It's like, this is a game anyone can win or lose. Magnus Carlsen, the world chess champion, he loses too.
Yeah.
But he just wins more often than most people, so he can win tournaments and be the champion, you know.
Right.
But yeah, so that's just the truth of it. So I'm glad you like what I've been trying to teach you here.
So grateful.
Yeah, and we're gonna play some over the board games, and it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, I'm so happy.
Because what I will do is I'll play with you, but I'll be able to explain what I'm doing. You know, I can offer suggestions for you and all that kind of thing. We can. Yeah. So it's gonna be a lot of fun.
I'm excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining me on this, Tam. It's gonna be amazing. So, but yeah, we need to get you to take your medicine and get to bed because it is late. Yeah. And then I will work on my school recordings. But yes, so thank you to anybody who watches this video later on, and I hope you learned something as well. It's been a lot of fun explaining this.